Site Selection and Query. The Site Selection tool is the second tool in our new Advanced Tools area. This is a very powerful analysis tool that allows you to search for properties by sale price, sale date, fair market value, zoning, and acreage all at once, or to search by just one of those. For example, to search for properties just by zoning, or to search for properties between such and such sale price, or market value, or acres or sale date. You can also search for zoning itself in the zoning layer, search by schools with a variety of criteria, search for CAT bus routes by name, libraries by name, search for wetlands and soils and geology by different type, and search for future land use by different type, as well as search the census population layer. First, let's jump right in and do a simple search. We'll search for parcels by sale price. What if we wanted to see all of the parcels in Chatham County that had a sale price between $1 and $3? Why did I pick this very arbitrary amount? Well, because I know that this won't generate too many parcels. It won't be a very long list. So you can give your result layer a specific name. We'll call it parcels between $1 and $3 sale price. So click Apply. And by the way, we will now see the list here of features. So it has given us a list of 11 properties that meet this very specific range of sale price. You can click this button up here to expand each and see the information for each parcel. This is the exact same information you would see if you were to click on one of the parcels. For example, we will zoom in here to this parcel on Chatham Parkway. And you'll see here, oops, not there. We'll use the convenient back button. And so this is 191 Carl Griffin. And as we see here, the same thing if we expand 191 Carl Griffin. So this is all well and good, but what if we wanted to download all of this information to a table? You would simply go to Download as a table file. And this is a file that Excel and other spreadsheet programs can open. You can also download this file as a GIS file to use in a GIS program. You can view all of these features that match our query in the attribute table, and you can see some statistics. For example, if you wanted to see the minimum, average, standard deviation, the min and max values of this list that we've created. And you can pick from any of the fields in the parcel layer, such as, for example, if we wanted to see the average of the sale price in this range, that's not going to be too exciting because we defined that $1 to $3. Let's say we wanted to know the average acreage of this list of 11 parcels. Well, now we know that the average size of the parcel here in this list is 2.33 acres. With a standard deviation of 4.03. You've got your minimum at 0.1, your max at 12.83 acres. And we can again pick from any of these different fields here. Any numeric field that would make sense. So let's return. We click again to search a layer, this first tab up here in the box. We click the back button. Now let's say we wanted to do a very specific query. We'll click on the combined search to search all these things. Let's say we wanted a list of properties, of parcels, between $0 to $100 in a fair market value, between $0 to $100 in sale price, sold only between February 1st, 2018 and July 18th, 2019, that have a acreage between 0 to 100, and that are specifically only of these 5 different zoning types. We've got CM, we've got commercial medium, commercial CM, EO, and I selected one other one, RA, residential agriculture. Okay. And again, why did I pick all of these? Because I know this is a put in here as a demo to get you started. This will generate a very small list of properties. So let's see what happens. So for now, it's just we're going to look for a list of properties that meet these 5 criteria. The range in fair market value, sale price, sale date, acres, and zoning. And so we're left with only 6 properties in the entire county that meet that super specific criteria for a query. So again, for example, we could see if we click on one of these results, right, and we expand it, we'll see that this 4781 Montanero Drive would meet all of those criteria. 3.79 acres, and it's going to be between 0 to 100 on all of those criteria, as we can see here, fair market value and land value and sale price. And it meets our zoning that we were searching for, which is the residential agricultural. And again, we could decide that we want to download that to an Excel file, or we could see this in the attribute table. And that's nice because it allows for sorting by any of these headings. For example, and let's minimize this. Let's say that we wanted to view all of these in the attribute table. And then we could sort, maybe for example, by, maybe we want to sort by owner name alphabetically, you know, for some reason. Okay, or we could sort descending. And of course you can also download the data out of the attribute table. Any data that comes into the attribute table can be downloaded. And to minimize the attribute table, you click the attribute table button up here, and that's best versus dragging it because it might not go all the way down, stay open a tiny bit. So if you just click the button, the attribute table goes away. Let's try another search. Let's go ahead and we'll just search just by acreage. We'll search for parcels. We'll look for all properties between 5 and 5.2 acres. Go ahead and we click apply, and now we see our results. We have 252 parcels between 5 and 5.2 acres in size. And again, for example, we can click on one to go and take a look at it. Right? And again, we can look at statistics. We'll see that maybe, for example, the average sale price of parcels in this size range is $287,273, for example. All right, let's try another query. Let's say that we wanted to look for areas that had between 100 to 109 people in census blocks. Let's say for some reason we're just very interested in that slice of a population. We want to look for areas that have around 100 people in them, and not much more and not much less. So we click apply, and again I picked this example because it doesn't generate too many results, and we have 50 results. So these are areas where there is about 50 people. And of course, something to note always when working with census data is that the blocks aren't all the same size. So this pocket of marsh over here has 50 houses close to Highway 80, whereas some of these smaller census blocks downtown have 50 people, perhaps in a apartment complex or you know, some kind of a townhome. Or for example, let's say that we wanted to look for zoning. We want to look for areas of 1B zoning, because we want to do something in that kind of a zone. And then this shows us the zoning layer. We can also search the property by zoning, and the way that we get zoning, by the way, in the parcel layer is by intersecting the zoning layer with the parcel layer, the property boundary layer, which is shown in green, and then of course the zoning layer, which is its own layer, as we can see right here. And you will also notice in the site selection and query, it gives the symbology, uses the same symbology that's in the layer list out of the box. We can actually change this. Let's say that you wanted the zoning to stand out, but you also wanted the regular zoning layer on. So what we can do is change it. We've changed it to red, and now we'll turn on the zoning over here, purple, so now it kind of stands out a little better. Okay, maybe we want to do a project right here. So note that you can change the symbol of your result or your query. You can click zoom to. There's a few other options in here. Flash, which will show it. Some interesting other options in here. Let's do one more query as an example. Let's look for soils by type. Let's say we're looking for a very specific soil, and in this case the Craven Loamy Fine Sand. We'll click apply, and we have 140 features that meet this criteria, and we can see the green polygons here symbolize this soil type. Okay. And I want to point out that all of our queries are saved here in the layer list, which is another reason you want to give it a nice name, right? When you have the option to name your query here, it's just a blank name where it'll just say soils query result. You can call it Craven Loamy Fine Sand, and then when you click apply, you will see a nicer name here in the layer list. And this will also be helpful if we go to print out the map. Let's zoom in here. And let's say that we wanted to call this Craven Loamy Fine Sand map. Okay. Now let's do another advanced analysis. Actually, let's return to this example here where we did parcels between $1 to $3. This is a good example as well of why it's helpful to name the layer. We'll call this parcel price search as the title, but then we can see that the layer name itself is parcels between $1 and $3 sale price. And so we see that's the title of the map is parcel price search, but the name of the layer is what will appear here. Okay. We'll go ahead and turn these off. So let's say we wanted to do a very specific analysis where we want to apply all of these criteria, as we recall, where this generated only 6 parcels. But let's say we wanted to also see if they were within 1 mile of a specific layer. So let's say we wanted to, again, find all parcels meeting all of the above criteria, but within 1 mile of community centers. So we'll click on community centers under map layers, click apply, and we will see that it creates a 1 mile buffer around all the community centers, and then it turns out only 1 parcel meets that criteria. So we know this parcel right here is within 1 mile of a community center, and it meets all of the above criteria here for sale price and date and size. And actually, using our other tool, it would be very simple to find out what community center, in fact, that was. If we simply click on the map, we will find the one community center within 1 mile. And that is GIS in a nutshell, folks. That is the analysis that is possible with this kind of data and these kind of tools. And so out of all of the tools in this viewer, this is probably the most advanced tool. We'll walk through one more example. Let's say we wanted to find just a particular bus route. Let's say we want to see the 100x bus route, 100x cat route. So that was simple. That's an example of a simple query. And again, we could print this out, to create a nice map of it if we so wanted to. One other thing I should point out is that all these new layers added to the layer list can have their transparency adjusted. You can click on these options to zoom to them and view them in the attribute table, move them up and down in order, and so on and so forth. One other capability I want to point out in the searching options here is that you can look at different spatial relationships. We used a search distance, which essentially found all of the parcels within that 1 mile distance of community centers, but you can look at contain, cross, and within. And also, your query is summarized here, and what this is actually SQL, or structured query language, which shows you exactly what you were searching for and encapsulates your entire search criteria.